You belong to something, right? So there's this thing. How many of y'all know what gangs are? Gangs, right? So there's a thing that gang members put on too to belong to something, right? Y'all just joined my gang. You know what I'm saying? Y'all part of the TSD gang. We got some moves to make, we got plays to make, we got some scholarships to get, and hopefully one day we got some money to make. But it starts with being here. Separate yourself from the pack, right? Y'all can easily be at home with all your friends, going outside. What's your plan when you go outside with all your friends?
Not to get in trouble.
Exactly, but when you first leave out the house, what everybody think? What y'all want to do?
Play football?
Yeah. Sports? What about you? Yeah, when you go outside with your friends, what's the first thing you think about? I just want to get out of the house.
Basketball.
Football? All right.
We're going.
When you go outside with your friends, what you want to do? What do you think about? Playing around?
Play basketball.
Basketball? Football? Park?
Basketball.
Football?
Football.
All right, so at the end of the day, man, the one thing I heard all y'all say is something sports related, right? It's structure, that's discipline, that's hard work. If you just walking around not doing nothing, you're gonna try to find something to do, and that's something that you choose to do might not be the best idea, right? I've had a friend that I used to hang out with all the time, but he was like a pyromaniac, so he loved setting stuff on fire. I was like, one time he set his back porch on fire because he just went a little too far. You know what I mean? But me personally, man, I'm gonna go back in front and play basketball. You gonna do what you need to do. Next thing I know,
You went there?
nah, ambulance, fire truck didn't have to come. But like I said, when he choosing to go to,
He burned it down now.
just the back porch, sure, man. You know, he ain't burned the whole house down. He ain't make it. It was like a couch on the back porch that he burned. But at the end of the day, man, it comes down to choosing structure, right? Playing sports gives you structure. It gives you a moment of time where you're gonna be focused on one thing. Either getting buckets or getting touchdowns, right? Not getting in trouble, not doing something dumb, not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just gives you something else to think about. And with me saying that, that's the reason why I named my book what it is. It's called Student Athletes Equipped for Life,
Oh, I'm reading that.
right? And so I put a football player on here because my journey was more so football. Everybody in Jacksonville that knows me or TSD, they know that I'm a trained football player. They don't look at me as a basketball guy. One, I got a couple too many muscles, but two, I don't look like a basketball guy, right? Besides LeBron James, because of the hairline.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
And what position did you play for?
In football, so in high school, I played quarterback, fullback, tight end, wide receiver, and defensive end.
Oh my God.
In college, I played tight end and defensive end. In arena, I played defensive end and linebacker. And then when I played this pro development team, I played tight end, and sometimes they needed me a defensive line. So I've always been an athlete, huh?
You ever made a hard hit?
Yeah. We had the YouTube. I mean, YouTube quality was kind of terrible back in the day, but I got a couple big plays, man, where, you know, caused a fumble, game-winning sack, game-winning strip sack. So, you know, that was just something I look forward to.
Did his helmet come on?
Got one of those. I got one where this move is actually illegal now, but I got a guy who I had grabbed him and I lifted him over my shoulder and power drive him. But now that's illegal. It's called unnecessary roughness, whatever. Bullcrap. But yeah.
Yeah, that's what you get hurt one time.
I got hurt. The only injury I've ever had, actually I had two injuries. So my first game in arena football, I'm chasing the quarterback and I died. And I didn't realize that wall was undefeated. So I hit the wall and I was like a bug on the windshield of the car. You know, everything hurt just a little bit. And then I had another time where in college, safeties, they always come down with their eyes closed trying to hit everybody. But he had his eyes closed and I already had a dude wrapped up and he hit my shoulder and I kind of went numb for a couple weeks. But yeah, that's about it. Any other question? All right, so in this book, right, it's called Student Athletes Equipped for Life. All right, so when I say equipped for life, I think about the hard work that it takes to make a team, right? How many of y'all actually already made a team before? Okay, so the hard work that it takes to make a team, you gotta go to practice, you gotta run, it's hot, you gotta put this helmet on, you gotta listen every day, all day. Like, it's a lot of work, right? So that same work that you putting in, man, you gotta think about that. Once you go get a job, or hopefully you make it to the NFL, you gotta do that same stuff every freaking day. You gotta wake up, You gotta go work, you gotta work hard, you gotta listen, you gotta take criticism. But at the end of the day, it's so you can have a good life. You equipped for everything, right? Then there's discipline, right? What's discipline? What is discipline to you? The word discipline. When somebody says discipline, what does that mean to you? Hard work. Anybody else? Discipline?
Like when the court QB say hike and the ball didn't move, don't move.
I like it. Sports comparison. Yeah.
So you make you not do it again. Like you just keep you stay on the track.
I like it.
Things that can make you be fair.
Ooh, fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay. Somebody else had a hand on it?
When coach called the play, and then when in the game, then you forget the play. Basically, I don't know how to say it.
You good? You good? But at the end of the day, the discipline is doing everything that you're supposed to be doing when you're supposed to do it. To me, that's what it means. Like the discipline to wake up this morning and be on time to go to work, and then be on time to come here, and then be on time to go training. Like those small discipline, those small keys keep you a job. Like in the NFL, if you can't remember plays, if you can't be on time, and in the NFL, when they say be on time, that means being 15 minutes early, right? If you on time, that means you late. But being on time is 15 minutes early. The average person doesn't understand that yet. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that play sports, they start understanding that because when coach say, hey, let's go, it's time to run. Hey, why you late? Okay, you got 2 more laps. You like, oh shoot. Why? Because you was late. And so the discipline that you're supposed to have by being on time and being ready and having all your stuff together, that was that moment where you realize, like, shoot, I gotta be on time for him out. I ain't trying to do 2 laps before practice. 2 more laps before practice, that's exhausting, right? So being equipped for life, man, is all these tools that go into your belt as an athlete that you continue to add value to yourself, right? So when I say add value to yourself, in corporate America, right, in the real world, they either go after ex-military, meaning the guys in the Army, Navy, all that good stuff, or college athletes, because you know how to take criticism, you know what it's like to be on a team, you know what it's like to continue to grind, you know what the discipline is, and you know what the work ethic is, okay? So this book, this picture right here is the most important picture I want y'all to think about when if y'all get a chance to read this book, okay? This right here is exactly what I want you to take from what I'm saying. Wish you had a whiteboard, I can write it down. But the helmet is knowledge, right? That's where your head is. That's where your brain at. So that helmet, everything that you listen, so everything that you hear, everything you taking in right now, that's going right where your helmet is, in your head, all right? The second part is your mouthpiece, your tongue. Being disrespectful, you're gonna get a lot in this life, I promise you that. If you be disrespectful to the people that is around you, the teachers, the people that care for you, the ones that want to make sure you're successful and you're winning in life, if you be disrespectful to them, they're not gonna look out for you. One day you're gonna need their help. It's gonna be one day. You don't know what that day is gonna be. It's gonna be one day. You're gonna need their help. And then, if you already burnt that bridge, you said, shut up, teacher, you stupid. You need my help now? Hey, teacher, I'm trying to get this extra credit so I can pass and go to the next grade and graduate. She was like, you remember that one day you called me stupid? Psych. And then you just like, oh, it's freaking tongue. But that's another part of the tongue, right? Speaking things into existence. If you tell yourself every day before you go to sleep, while you say your prayers, you be like, hey, Lord, just let me make it to the NFL because I'm working so hard. I love it. I love football. I love this game. It gives me structure. It gives me discipline. It gives me all that. I just love it. If you say that every day when you go to sleep, there's like a 70% chance that it might come to existence because you spoke it. You use your tongue to speak it into existence, all right? And then you got the jersey here. The jersey is belonging to me, right? Where I'm from Durham, North Carolina. And in Durham, North Carolina, when I graduated high school, we was #1 in the nation in gang-related violence, right? Where it's either people getting shot, people getting robbed, crazy thing happening. Red and blue, those were the 2 colors, that's all I do. And when it came down to it, I had friends that wanted me to do this or be a part of that. I had a cousin that was on that. He was like, nope, you don't need this, you got sports. Had an uncle, nah, you good, you got sports. So guess what? It was like, stay in. That was my belonging. When I put that jersey on my back, I was a part of the game. my whole squad was with me. Every time we stepped on the court, every time we stepped on the field, I played basketball too. So every time I stepped on the court or the field, I had a game with me. Every time. And we was out here trying to kick everybody, but violent, right? We trying to be violent. We trying to smash people in their head. We ain't trying to shoot nobody. We trying to hit stick everybody. You know what I'm saying? So the relationship of understanding both sides of the track is always beneficial for me, right? Knowing the good and the bad. Having the side of my family where they're in the streets, the other side of my family, they're in the church. You know what I'm saying? So then you got the gloves, right? How many of y'all wear gloves with in your football practice and stuff like that? All right. So that right there is responsibility. These hands, every time a ball comes your way, you have a responsibility to make a play, right? So every time something's put on your plate, if I give you a plate and they got food on it, I'm like, hey man, take that in to your grandma. You gotta carry that. That's your responsibility in that moment. If I say, hey, go take this trash out, boom, that's his responsibility with his hands at that moment. So that's your responsibility. Then you got your pants, the girdles that you gotta put on every day when you play practice, right? That's your values. Because to protect your butt, you know, you got a butt pad, right? It hurt, somebody hit you right there and you got a butt pad, all right? Sometimes in y'all age, you still gotta wear a cup, right? Because that's your values. You ain't trying to get hit in no sport. So if you think about those things, right? The values, the stuff your mom is telling you, hey, listen, when I say that street light come on, you be your butt in the house. That's a value. Because if you don't, she's thinking about something bad can happen to you, right? If you don't value the things around you, like your shoes, who in here got love shoes? I see a couple guys with drugs on. Yeah, so you love shoes, so you value those. Don't mess that up. I'm not gonna mess that up. I value this. I'm not trying to go out here and do nothing crazy with my favorite shoes. No stuff. It's too much mud over there. Not today. All right. And then you have your cleats, and your cleats stand for humility, staying humble, right? You can have a 5-touchdown game. Next game, because you think you big stuff, you got a linebacker that's coming for your head, whoever you are. Whoever that person that just had 5. But if you just had a 5-touchdown game and that other coach said, hey, all we got to do is stop number 2. If we come for number 2, everybody on the team comes for number 2. But you think just because you had a 5-touchdown game, everybody's scared of you. Nah, they coming for you. So then you got to understand, I need my team around me to get to that next level. I got to stay humble because every game, not permanent. Now, I just went from 5 touchdowns to 5 yards. That's a sucky situation. To go from 5 touchdowns to the next game only getting 5 yards, you talking about humble, slapped in the mouth like, oh my God, this is the longest game of my life. But you accomplish something because at the end of the day, you realize, okay, we still got some work to do, which means we got to stay humble. All right? So in this book, actually, anybody got any questions on that format? Anybody got any questions? Go ahead. Oh. All right.
I got something.
All right.
You talking about those illustrations that you had in the front of the book about the helmet and the shoulder pads and the jersey and all that kind of puts me in the mind frame of the armor of God.
Yes, sir. That's it. Yes, sir. So that's a direct comparison. So I said a long time ago to my uncle, I told him, I was like, my pulpit is the field. I might not be a pastor in the church because I still have my mom. She was a cusser when I was younger. I still cuss her, man. I ain't perfect. But it's one of those things where understanding that my background and my foundation comes from the church, right? So I compare, it ended up being a direct comparison where the full armor of God, and I literally made one more piece, the mouthpiece, just so I can have 7, just like the Bible, and the full armor of God. So that is the craziest part about it. It's actually in chapter 1. Let's see exactly what page it is. Actually, chapter 2, what kind of equipment is required, and it talks about the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the shield of faith, the loins girded with truth, the sword of the spirit, and the shoes of peace. All right. So in this book, I don't call them.
So when you were wide receiver, did you go against big babies? Like,
Not at that time.
Like got his stick a lot.
Me getting hit stick? No, I did stiff on all the time. So that was the only move I had in my bag. I stiff on everything and everybody. So you can ask Zakai. What move did we work on the most? Jump cut, stiff on. Huh?
Would you Derrick Henry? You would do Derrick Henry?
Yeah, I was one of those guys. Like, I didn't like getting hit.
Would you run up with Derrick Henry?
Would I run up with Derrick Henry? Heck yeah. If it's money on the line, yes. That's
And
money,
the
bro.
same one.
I ain't doing it for free. I wouldn't do it for free. Nah, I wouldn't do it for free.
What's the highest score on
The highest score I ever scored? I had one game where I had 3 touchdowns in high school. But
I had 7.
most of the time I did, like I said, most of the time I played defense. Well, if I do flag football and all that stuff, I got a lot of touchdowns. Like I still play competitively flag football in Orlando for national and stuff like that. So I've lost a lot of people. That's all I can say.
You played 7-on-7? You lost all people?
707 just started, so 707 wasn't around when I was a kid.
I could have made it.
Of course, but I wasn't thinking about that. You know, I like training. I like developing young men into better athletes, right? Because it's something that you might not have in your game. Like right now, you might can't jump out, right? You might not be strong. Your core, you might be a great running back, but your balance could be off because your core is not strong. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's the stuff that I pay attention to. Like right now, if I look at big guy right here, I'm like, what's your confidence like? When it comes to talking to anybody. Exactly. So now I'm like, bro, we get you stronger and you start looking at your body and you walk in the mirror one day and you can do this right here. Average. I'm above average now. They don't want to mess with me. Guess what? He got the perfect frame to hold any amount of weight. I was built just like him. You know what I'm saying? So I fall in love with guys like that because of the development has to come from falling in love with making myself better. When I would fall in love with making myself the best version of me, it's crazy. When I take care of myself right now and I wake up and I got this vein right here sticking out without even flexing, I'm about to kill this day. I'm about to make that. Hey, I'm about to make some moves today. And people gonna look at me today and they be like, hey man, who are you? Like, I'm just right here. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it works on your body different. That's something that we're gonna do in a little bit because I believe in strength over anything. The stronger I am, the more I can do.
Have you ever played football?
Quit? No, I didn't quit. The game came to a nice end for me, right? Like I wanted to keep playing, but at the end of the day, I realized resources over recreation. Playing football for $250 when I'm thinking about life and I'm thinking about business, I'm thinking about my passion, I'm thinking about, man, I need money to do this. To get to the NFL, you gotta have a support system. You know, if you don't have a support system, it's gonna be tough. Like those kids that do make it in the NFL, they got that one mother that was there and she gave me everything I needed. She bought me every pair of cleats. She made sure I had every pair of shoes. Whatever it was, that support right there was different because it gave you a lot. I lost a fair share of games, but I can tell you I won more than I lost. I can tell you that. I can guarantee you that. All right, so in this book, I don't go ahead. NFL. So the biggest thing that I realized at that time frame, the New York Giants. I had to try out the New York Giants. So the thing that I realized at that time frame, I wasn't 100% equipped for that path, right? I had so many different intangibles. I had so many different skills, but it didn't translate to the metric system, right? So and I still feel like that to this day, right? So in corporate America, I'm gonna come to you. In corporate America, right? When I say corporate America, I'm talking about businesses, right? So in corporate America, you have to have certain qualifications to get certain jobs, right? So in the NFL, you have to be able to run a certain 40 to get a certain job. You got to be able to jump a certain height to get a certain job. You got to be able to change directions to get a certain job. Stay locked in. So when it comes down to it, being prepared and equipped is totally different. So I just didn't have the right 40. My 40-yard dash was not fast, but everything else I killed. So it was one of those things. Huh? What was it? It was 40. You don't even know what it was 40.
His 40 was 40
seconds.
My 40 was 5'2".
5'2"? That ain't bad. What? How
Also,
old
mom's
I mean 11.
I like that.
mom's was 5'3".
5'3".
What do you do? Let's play on the team.
Jaworski Lane was the best player on my team. Jaworski Lane, he's number 3 in the nation right now, still in the SEC of touchdowns all time. He played at Texas A&M, and then he ended up playing for Miami Dolphins and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm actually going for a camp for Jaworski Lane, July 22nd in Houston, Texas. He called me out personally to come and run a camp with him out in Texas. Linebacker. You know, trying to put a couple people to sleep.
Wait, how did you feel running the ball? Because I feel weird when I run the ball.
You feel? How did I feel when I ran the ball? Well, to me, I was always happy about the catch, first and foremost, because I had, in high school when I played tight end, I had some pretty good receivers around me. So anytime I got the ball, I was gonna make something happen so the coach could keep thinking about me. So I wasn't, like, I can tell you, I've had more times where the referee had to stop forward momentum because I had so many people on my back trying to bring me down, but they just stopped my momentum, but I did not go down the ground. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still pushing the power.
You didn't make Derrick Henry.
Could be, but I didn't get that type of opportunity. Southern Durham High School. We were a top 50 team in the nation my senior year of high school. Huh? Southern Durham. Yeah, I'm from North Carolina. St. Augustine High. We only played in North Carolina. All right, so in this book, right? So I didn't call these chapters, okay? I called each one of them practices. Each one was a practice. So practice number 1 was why choose to be a student athlete, right? And then in that moment, there's a picture, right? So this is how I keep your attention this whole book, okay? So why choose to be a student athlete? This picture right here. Everybody had one goal, was win, right? Everybody got one goal, that's win. All right? And then this is the other reason. To get to that point where you're that guy for your team. When everybody on your team either cheering for you or supporting you, that's why you choose to be a student athlete. All right? And then what kind of equipment are required? Obviously, everybody knows you gotta have a helmet, stuff there, all that good stuff. All right? But like I said, every chapter was named after something that was important. And so then it started going into the helmet, right? So
That's a defense?
it might be an A11. What is it called? Yeah, A11. That's a real helmet.
7, wait.
F7?
No.
No,
A11. A11. Think
That's
of
the
A11.
one that you moved, right?
Now this is the speed flex.
And that's defense.
Yeah. So, like I said, so the synopsis of this book is just keeping everybody locked in, man. Once you get to that point where the scary part about this book, so it says for athletes young and old, right? And so when I say for young and old, I went through one phase that somebody asked me about earlier, was did I quit football, right? And I can't say I quit football. Football kind of left me at a place of completion, right? The guy from the New York Giants, he told me, hey man, it's not your fault. We got some guys that we just signed, they're a little bit better than you, a couple of them a little bit younger than you, and a little bit more relevant. You know, John Beeson was a pretty solid guy. Jason Pierre-Paul, they had just drafted at that time. So they told me,
What about their running back?
well, I played
You talking about linebacker?
yeah, I played DN and linebacker at that time. So this is the same time they just won the Super Bowl the year before that. So they had a lot of things they already needed. And that was just the only team that gave me an opportunity. So at the end of the day, it comes down to, am I available or am I needed? And I wasn't needed at that time. But in the same sense, I can say that reason, that hunger was put at a cliff note because it still gives me an opportunity to have passion for the game. And that's the reason why I pour into every athlete that I train. I mean, he heard me come and talk a couple times, and then he's also seen me kick some butt a couple times on the basketball court. So he knows, you know what I'm saying? I'm like that, you know what I'm saying? I compete every time I do everything. I try to be the best on the court. I try to be the best on the field. Even if I'm just playing with my sons, I'm gonna let them know it's gonna be a long day, but you know what I'm saying? You about to get tougher today, all right? So it just comes to that passion. My passion never got a chance to come to closure, which is perfect for me because now that same passion that I have in football is going through football training and football development. All right? Anybody have a question?
What was like, what was your celebration?
my best celebration that was actually on TV in Texas. So what I did was, because I knew it was a television game, right? It was my first time. I mean, I played on TV in college, but yeah. So what I did was I act like I made a TV screen, and I punched through it, and then I walked away. So yeah, that was my celebration. Like I just came through the screen. But it was after I made a very big hit. I wish I could put it in. This is connected to the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right there.
It's still on TV to this day.
Why did you ask that?
It's HDMI too.
Doesn't it make
It go on too. That's what
Oh,
Mr.
yes, it does. It's the right now. Since you,
You think you don't really know TV that you live? I think you don't really know.
you said no.
I want to see it. I want to see the whole game.
Well, you don't have to see the whole game.
Nah, I'm about to show y'all the one play I'm talking about.
Show us the hit and the wait, you got a fumble? You took it home?
It says no signal.
It's 18 on 1. Oh,
It's something you ain't do right. Right, but it's supposed, don't you supposed to get one of them little things over there?
1. It's 18 on 1. 18 on 1. Did you tell me too? 1. You already pressed it.
Good job, son.
It even oh man, what year was it?
Ooh, it's 2019, 2010. It's so bad, but y'all weren't even born yet, was it? Yeah, no, y'all big for over 13, no.
Wait, who's that?
I'm the guy in the black man. So as you see, first and foremost,
Pay attention.
this game is violent, bro. Street TV, touch screen.
Yeah. Wait, that's you? That's your name?
Yeah, so those are my stats.
Ronnie Mason. Wait, go back to? How many?
You can turn it up.
Wait, what number are you again?
So I was number 44 in the black, and
41
then in the
tackles.
beginning,
Oh my God.
I had number 56 in white.
32 interceptions? That's great.
I'm like shit, folks, man. I got this shot.
So this the play, this next play.
That's a beautiful shot. You guys are fast. I can't see this big.
All right, so I'm this guy right here, the sausage.
Who's your
Okay,
head?
this shit right here.
Wait, that's you?
Yeah.
Marcus.
So watch that guy. Try to. Right here, I know it's not what it's not.
Bro, he got away from me. How you let me away from me?
This one right here. Y'all see my? Alright, you see my? I'm right here. Got some coverage.
Was it the one with the ball? You need to wear a bounce. But you can't hit the thing.
This next play, I'm right here. had an interception right here.
The sidelines are so like small. I know. Come on. That's what I mean. Like on the bro. I didn't feel that was not.
I had one more touchdown, one more interception for a touchdown, I think, this game.
You ain't gonna tell me. Hey, you jumped.
So down number 44. That's on right.
Hey.
One hand.
This. Everything was so small. Touchdown. Like a touchdown. You talk about the yards? Oh, the touchdown. Like everything. Yeah. Yeah, like. It's like touching. How did it feel when you threw that man over your head? How did it feel when you threw that? Great.
You always gotta look for that big hit, man. Because see, I came from the era where the Miami Hurricanes was a very physical team. And the way they played was with passion. And they let their pass do the talking. You can ask anybody. They always try to figure out a way to get me mad before games at high school, college, and pro. And I didn't know how to get mad until I played middle linebacker for 1 year. And I realized I had to be that dog for everybody because I needed them to stay in their spot. And I needed to be that voice. So it was a different animal. Yeah. You know, that's a very important part, man. Losing, you gotta lose some games, you gotta lose sometimes in life so you can understand the lesson. Right? If you realize you gotta do everything in life to prepare yourself for that moment, then it's a little bit different. But yeah, man, so that's what.
Two likes.
Huh?
2 likes.
It's like 3. I got
It ain't about the likes, it's about the views.
I'm talking about that.
The second one.
Who said? I mean, you did. Who said that?
But I was also defensive player of the year that year in that league too. Because there was not another defense. I forgot about that part. But I actually won defensive player of the year in that league because there was nobody that had every stat on the defensive side of the ball than me. I think I had 41 tackles. I think I had 7 sacks. I had 3 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, like 5 PPUs. So it's just a complete body of work, man. So sometimes it really don't matter how many times you do something. It's like, can you do everything? Are you capable of doing everything? That's why in this book, I don't just talk about one standpoint. I talk about being equipped for life. Not just equipped to play sports. I'm not talking about equipped just to get a job. I said you're equipped for life because you got to be well-rounded. There's a lot of stuff that's going to happen in your life where you just got to know how to do it.
Have you played
Basketball, QB.
Who?
Have you played for the same team before?
The same team? What same team? What team?
The team that you're QB for today.
No, I only played there 1 year. I played there 1 year. The NBA. I had a cousin that played in the NBA though.
Which was like doing like what was your best your yard?
After a catch. I can't say I had a best yard, but I probably had the greatest ratio of touchdowns to completion. So 1 year, my sophomore year of high school, I had 17 catches, but I had 11 touchdowns. So it wasn't necessarily a lot of yards, but anytime we got in the red zone or the end zone, just throw it up. I'm gonna go get it, I promise you. All right. And that's the last thing I want to talk to you about before we get to our next activity is go get them. Okay? So y'all see it on my shirt here, go get them. All right, and it's on my back.
Go get it.
And it's on your wristband.
And it's in matter.
And it's on my arm right here.
And it's in matter.
Did you put it in Madden? Cause
I think I got like 14 tattoos. But so listen, when it comes to things in life, man, y'all gonna get a lot of opportunities, right? There's gonna be some things that's just presented naturally, where you just come to school and you get a chance to talk to somebody cool, or you get a chance to meet some Jaguar player, or you get a chance to go to a Sharks game because they just invested in you, they want to see you show up. But then there's these other opportunities where they're not gonna be given to you. You gotta go get them, right? So if you get a chance to, if you want a touchdown, is it gonna be given to you? If you want a touchdown, you gotta go get that thing, right? If you want to rebound, is it gonna be given to you? No, you gotta go get that.
It's something
Right?
that
If it's a job, one day when y'all try to go get a job, they not gonna give you the job. You gotta go get it. You gotta apply. You gotta let them know you want it, and then it's gonna come down to the scholarship, right? To go to college and play football or play basketball. It's not gonna be given to you. You gotta earn it. You got some work to do, right? So at the end of the day, man, I want y'all to understand there's a thing about in the word where it says faith without work is dead, right? So if you're not doing work, meaning the action, the verb, go, if you're not doing the something you're supposed to do to get these opportunities, then you can't expect anything. So it's always gonna be work required. For sure, Mr. James there, he can attest to that, and I know for sure I can attest to that. If I wanna make a certain living for myself, I got a lot of work to do, bro. Granted, the good thing is about my life, I love what I do. I love being able to do this. I love training athletes. I love building relationships and connecting and then making a couple dollars off of a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I'm telling you your tone was a very valuable piece, because if you burn bridges or you badmouth people versus just letting them know, hey, this is your stance. Like if I say, hey man, I can't stand you, dog. I don't like you, I never want to see you again. Then one day he might end up in the NBA and I'm like, yo, can I do a camp for you? Like, nah, you remember that one time you said that to me? But I can say, hey bro, listen, we ain't really that cool, but I wish you the best of luck. If I say that to him and then I come to him like, hey man, I still do camps and stuff, he might be like, oh yeah, man, I remember that, man. You wish me the best of luck, man. I remember that. People remember that stuff, man. So that's why you gotta be careful how you speak to people, because you never know what opportunity you need. They might end up being the most famous person you ever knew. And you and dang, man, I know him, y'all. Could go ask him for a job. When you ain't gonna get a job, you was talking junk to him back in the playground, back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So be careful how you speak, man. Oh my God.
All right, before we go outside, I want to do things a little bit different this time. I think